Why am I singing Strictly? Why are you guys still out? What's the crack, guys? Welcome. Bit my tongue. What's the crack, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my reading plans for April. I normally don't do these videos, but here we are, like 2 in a row for each month. What the hell? My TBR is getting ridiculous. The amount of books I have to read within this bedroom is getting out of control. These bookcases are double-faced, so this row of books has another row of books behind it. I have 2 columns of books behind me here, and then this bookcase here, surprise, has more unread books on it. Granted, there are more read books on here than there potentially are unread books. Nevertheless, it is getting out of control, so I need to plan more in advance what I want to read. Normally, I am very much a mood reader. I just go with the flow. I go, right, I finished this book. What book do I want to read next? Sometimes it's a book that I've just bought, or sometimes it's a TBR veteran. It just depends. So I've taken it upon myself now to actually plan what I'm reading. March, I planned Amelia Fox related books. As I'm filming this, 2 of those are currently ticked off that TBR, and so now I am planning April, and I'm planning to read a series, and I think I can do it. I read the prequel series to this last year and I flew through it, so potentially I can fly through the rest of these books in this series. Don't be fooled by the thumbnail because there is a duplicate in there. That's how I get around this. I ain't stupid. So the series that I want to concentrate on in April is The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. Last year I read The Infernal Devices and thoroughly enjoyed them. The third one, I will say, was my least favourite for various reasons. Well, and Tessa, I'm looking at both of yous. But I loved the world. I loved Charlotte and I loved Henry. They were my favourite characters from The Infernal Devices, and I loved the world, as I said. So I was very much then interested in reading more from the Shadowhunter world. I got City of Bones when I was in Galway. This is the 10th anniversary edition. And I did start reading it. I actually got to page 99, which was chapter 6, which I really enjoyed, but then I hit a reading slump, and then so I didn't continue reading it. Reading slumps suck, let me tell you. But I am out of that reading slump. I am loving reading again. I am very motivated to read now. That's why we're here today, because I'm motivated to read this series. I have City of Bones. City of Bones. My colleague knew I was into fantasy books, so she was like, we're getting rid of these. Do you want this? I was like, yeah, I'll take it off your hands. These are the mass market paperbacks from when the movie came out, because you can see Lily Collins, I want to say her name is. So I have City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, and City of Lost Souls. Now, none of these are particularly short books, but the print looks large, and as I said, I did enjoy The Infernal Devices. I read them pretty quickly. The pages that I read in the City of Bones, I got to them very quickly. I find Cassandra Clare's writing very accessible and very easy to read, so I fly through it faster than I normally would with any other author. So I want to dedicate April to getting this series off of my TBR and get this off my TBR as well, which is Chain of Gold, The Last Hours, book 1, or if you're from Northern Ireland, Chain of Gold, The Last Hours, which is the first book in a new trilogy. I think it's going to be a trilogy that is set between The Infernal Devices and The Mortal Instruments, as far as I am aware, because it follows the children of 2 characters from The Infernal Devices. So I think my plan is to read this, then get to The Mortal Instruments. I found out that I like to read them in chronological order, because I realistically could have just started with City of Bones, but since Infernal Devices is set in the Victorian era, I was like, well, what's the point of me going to present day to go to the past, to go to future present day, to go back to the past? It just did not make sense. So I was like, well, why don't I just start at the very beginning and then continue on, because I'm sure things from the Infernal Devices is hinted at or talked about in the Mortal Instruments. I'm thinking that anyway. That's the method behind the Magners in this. And yes, I know it's supposed to be method behind the madness, but you know, I just find method behind the Magners funnier because that's why you're here, for the crack. That is the plan. Read this, read these. I'm not so sure about the Dark Artifices just yet. I will see how I go with these first before I decide to bring in 3 more, you know, Breeze Block books. Because I'm kind of on a self-imposed book buying ban. So there you have it, guys. Those are my reading plans for April. Basically, knock out as many books in the Shadowhunters world as possible. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books. What did you think of them? Do you like the Mortal Instruments? Did you like the Infernal Devices? Or what are your plans for April? What do you plan to read? Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!